So I went back with Cliff and Colt, and I kind of left those other elk alone, knowing that we could go back to them. Zach had them patterned, and he had a cell cam.
I listen. I'm half deaf, so the listening part's not so good sometimes.
And he's like, hey, moron, the bulls were in my camera at noon.
Yeah. I'm belly crawling along the fence line, and I see him, and one buck is bedded up, and the other 3 are laying down.
Well, hello, everyone out there. Thank you so much for tuning into the Addicted Hunting Podcast. We're at episode number 4 today, boys. Episode number 4. I'm getting excited. We're starting to spool these things up pretty good. Starting to get them spooled up. Today's episode, guys, we're going to talk about our hunts so far. Kind of an in-season recap to date so far. We've had a couple of our different hunts that have already hit. And so we're going to go through each one of our hunts, talk about successes, failures, things we should have done different, things we messed up on.
I'll cover the failures.
Yeah, Cliff will tell you a really big mess up that he made, and partly my fault because I should have told him knowing what he did, but I didn't. So I'm going to take a little bit of fault there because I definitely should have told him to do some things there, but you got to wait to hear what it's going to be.
Yeah.
I'm not going to tell you yet. So
It was terrible.
It was terrible.
Dude, it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you haven't really told me the full story of it. I'm interested.
Dude,
Yeah,
I'm like,
I got a little glimpse of
I've
it.
had misses. I've had misses in my life, like to where I'm like, okay, yeah, I know. I can respect that. I've had deer, move out of the way of arrows, like perfectly shot arrows, longer shots, but it's still, I'm like, you deserve to live. This one, this one really, like, dude, I'm still mad about it. Like, I'm like not upset. I'm not like, oh, that's too bad. I'm like mad about it because it's something that it comes down to
It
preparation.
shouldn't happen.
Yeah, it shouldn't happen. And it comes down to preparation and it's
But it's also being new, dude. It's being new.
Yeah.
It's being new to that type of hunting. And
the weapon itself.
Yep.
And
It's
that's
just being new, and you learn, you live and you learn. I've had a lot of those things happen over the years.
Dude, yeah, it's terrible.
And so, yeah, well, I think we should just dive right into it.
Okay.
We got to dive right into it because the first hunting season that we've already had, it happened October 4th through the 12th or something like that.
11th,
10th,
something like that.
Yeah, I can't remember what
I
it
didn't
is.
hunt the whole season.
7-day season, and me and Cliff did Washington muzzleloader elk season.
Yeah.
So, and this is kind of our season every year, guys, where we get a big group of buddies together, and it's more like the buddy camp. You all go to camp. We cook dinners every night. We hang out. We set up like a big lounge camp. Our wives come for some of it, and it's like the big buddy camp that we do.
Yeah.
But we also try to kill. So
Big word on try.
yeah, big word on try. We've had a couple rough years this last couple years, for sure. But we just got to dive right in.
Yeah.
Dive right in. So this is a Washington muzzleloader season, guys. So we get 7 days to hunt in Washington with muzzleloaders. The last couple of years, they've updated some of the rules on our guns, which is kind of nice. This year, we got to use 1 power scopes, and we did last year as well, which is really cool. They've changed Washington now to all closed breeches, so we can have all but closed. We don't have to have open anything on our muzzleloaders, which is pretty nice.
Some of us.
Yeah. So I actually shoot a Remington Ultimate muzzleloader, which they call the 300-yard muzzleloader. It's literally bolt action like a rifle.
Yeah, it's really cool.
It's really nice.
Yeah.
It might as well be a rifle. I'm surprised Washington allows it.
I really am.
These are Roosevelts, right?
Yep.
Roosevelt elk.
Yep. So we're hunting Roosevelt elk. We're hunting them. You kind of could say coastal, but it's not really. We're hunting a lot around Mount St. Helens. And
Which
we
is a
hunt
huge
in
area.
Weyerhaeuser. So we do Weyerhaeuser permit buys every year. And we have it down. There was a time, guys, where I killed elk 7 years in a row with my muzzleloader. 7 freaking years in a row, I killed an elk.
I know. Yeah.
Which is pretty impressive. Like that might be a streak that I might never break. Like that might be something that goes to my grave with me. It is hard to kill elk that many years in a row. And the last couple of years, it's just been tough. The seasons have been tough. And so, I think we can jump right into this year. I think one of the things that really hurt us this year that was tough was just the weather, man.
Yep.
We just had hot weather, not a lot of rain, crunchy woods.
It rained before the season, and then it dried out. So
Yep.
it's like I went into it, I'm like, oh, dude, it's going to be quiet. But when everything's, dude, it's drier than a popcorn fart up there. Like, at that time of the year, that water gets absorbed so quick. Like, the rivers don't even, and there was a huge amount of water that came down. Like the rivers didn't even swell. It literally absorbed into everything, and it's still. I mean, it was still noisy, but yeah, it would like we've had it 2 years in a row though, to where it's dry, and as far
It changes where the elk are at.
Mhm.
It changes what they do.
Yep.
It changes how they feed. It changes where they bed.
Yep.
I mean, it changes everything.
Yeah.
And dude, it's just been tough.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty much for any.
Yeah.
I'll just feel every animal will
I mean,
fall in
there's-
water.
Yeah. It'll change with the dry weather.
Change with it,
Yeah. So we can just start out. So opening day, what we do, guys, is we sit in camp the night before. We all have hunted the area before. I have the most experience hunting it, but we all kind of sit in there in camp and we just decide, you go here, everyone go here. And we kind of split up and we kind of just try to find the elk.
Divide and conquer.
We know where they're at because we do preseason scouting. We set trail cameras up and we kind of have an idea where the elk are. Also, we take experience from past years where we just kind of know the elk tend to be. Then we go out that opening day and everyone just kind of goes their own separate ways. And so I went way to the east and you guys kind of stayed local, really kind of right by camp.
The first 2 days, we stayed pretty close.
So Colt had some elk kind of pinned down that were bugling, that were like, we had some elk kind of talking, and which was really good. It seems like the first couple days of elk season every year in the rosy season for muzzleloader in Washington, we get them talking still.
Mm-hmm.
And they weren't talking.
No.
Like we thought we had them talking, but they weren't talking where you guys were.
No.
So talk about what happened for you guys opening day, and then I can talk about what happened for me.
Opening day, like for me, typical. I have it's a 2-year streak of not seeing anything on opening day. But it was funny because I shut my phone off that evening. I put it on airplane mode. Me and Colt, we went out to an area. I was like, okay, you go that way, I'll go this way. And he stumbled on the elk that were actually, and I never heard them.
They were bugling and stuff.
Dude, yeah, bugle, the spike bugle.
Yeah.
Dude. Yeah, you had a herd spike running around over there. And he saw 28.
There was 27 elk, not one legal bull.
Yeah.
Are like, just so like I know kind of the time frame, is it like the tail end of them bugling or is it the
tail end?
Yeah.
Okay.
This is the tail end of them bugling.
Tail end of the ruts.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you still have a few of them, few cows in estrus, and you still have a few elk kind of bugling
I just didn't
around.
know if it was like getting kicked off or at the end of it or.
No. So so they got on him, and Cliff, they didn't see much all day. You kind of hunted around in the woods, went to a bunch of the areas where you thought the elk might be, and didn't get on him till the evening.
Yeah. It wasn't until that evening, and that was one of Colt's worries. He's like, I see him every opening day, and I haven't seen him. So he gets on those. He's trying to text me. I have my phone is on airplane mode. I get all his text messages later, but like, oh yeah, we'll meet back here at dark, and like I'm waiting. I mean, I don't hear any shots or anything. I don't even know he's looking at animals, but now I'm just like I'm gonna have to go find Colt and go back to camp without him. So he finally shows up and he's like, yeah, dude, there's like 27 of them. And he's like, one bull was like bugling and this and that. He's like, I couldn't make anything out. It was starting to get too dark. And so that just fast forwarded into the next day.
But don't go to there yet
because I'm not.
Yeah. So basically we found elk, and same with me. So I went with a buddy, Zach. My buddy, Zach, hunted the same area during archery season. And so he called me like a week before and was like, hey, are you on the elk? And I was transparent. I was like, dude, this is the worst year for me. Like I did not scout good. I fished way too much in the 360 fishery, fishing for salmon, and didn't put the time in that I normally put in for elk. And so when he called me, shout out to Zach, when he called me and invited me like, hey dude, I'm on some freaking elk and I'm on them good. And you should come with me and my wife. So I went with him opening morning. I took Mikey, went over there. But I wasn't going to encroach like right on his area. So basically we went over into the general area that he was in, and I let him go to where he kind of knew the elk course. He has a cell cam over there. So he had a cell cam on these elk, and he knew like exactly what they were doing. Like exactly when they were coming over. They were coming over off of private into Weyerhaeuser. And so he goes up and me and Mikey go down, and we hunt around all day. Me and Mikey jump one elk that we never see, a single elk. We never see it. And that was it. And so we get back to the trucks. It's like probably noon. We had hunted all morning. And Zach and his girlfriend are there. And they're like, dude, we were in them all day. We had elk bugling. Blah, blah. I'm like, you got to be kidding me.
It wasn't that big of an area.
No, it's a small area, dude. Like, it's like They couldn't have been more than a half mile from us.
Yeah.
And what happened was, because he knew where they were at and he had a camera, he just went right to where they were. And they got into the woods, like right to where we split up on. They didn't get 60 yards into the woods, and he spotted the elk. And he lets off a couple cow calls, and one of the bulls immediately bugles back. And they're like 150 yards from him. They can see him in the timber, though. And so he's like, oh, man, this one's fired up. So he fires a bugle back at it, and it just rips. And it starts coming. This thing's ready, like it's ready to fight. And he said what happened was it came in, and then a lot of the cows, because there was like a lot, there was 9 bulls in this herd and like a ton of cows. And the cows started getting nervous, like they knew something was up. And the cows kind of started chirping. And this bull, Zach told me Bria, which is his wife, had a shot, but she wasn't comfortable with the shot. Mm-hmm. And we all know as hunters, you don't take the shot unless you're comfortable. You just don't. And he said it was about 40 to 45 yards, quartering away in the timber. Because what happened was the bull started coming in, bugling like it wanted to fight. Well, then the cows got nervous, and the cows started calling back. And when you have that many bulls and that many cows, like the cows can call the bulls back to the herd, and they'll leave. And that's what happened. He had that thing fired up, and it was coming in, and Bria had a 40-yard quartering away shot, but she wasn't comfortable with it. So she didn't take it. And so that bull got called back into the cows, and they all kind of worked their way back onto the private. And so when we meet back up with him, he tells us the whole story, and we're like, oh my gosh, no way. And so then, of course, the next, day, I'm like, man, I'm struggling, because I'm like, do we go back there?
Yep.
Do we go back there where we know these bulls, where there's 9 freaking bulls, or do we go back to where Colt is on 27 elk, where we also know there's bulls? So I was torn. I didn't know what to do, but I wanted to hunt with my buddies. So I went back with Cliff and Colt, and I kind of left those other elk alone, knowing that we could go back to them. Zach had them patterned, and he had a cell cam. And so I'm like, Zach will just text me if the bulls are in there, which I'm kind of like, that's really cool.
Yeah.
So we go back to where
next morning,
where these other elk are at the next morning.
On them immediately. Exactly like you said. You're like, nobody mess with them.
Yep.
They'll be there all night.
That's what I kind of thought. Cliff was like, they could move, and we're all in camp. Like, you always think you know what they're going to freaking do, but you never really know.
Yeah.
And so, of course, we're all in camp, drinking a couple beers, arguing with what these elk are going to do, arguing back and forth. And I'm like adamant. I'm like, dude, these elk are going to stay in this freaking clear cut. No one's in there. Cliff's like, oh, I don't know. They might go back in this, and we're all kind of like, we don't know.
Yeah.
But I'm like, just please, let's just go back to the clear cut. I'm like, so Cliff and
Mikey.
Who was with you?
I was with Mikey.
Mikey. So they went basically to where they could walk right onto the clear cut. Me and Colt wrapped her on the side of the clear cut. We basically wanted to pin these elk in so there was nothing they could freaking do. Just exactly what we did.
It was really cool though, like the way they were acting towards the end.
Oh, it was so freaking fun, dude. So we get in there, and at first we're like looking, and we're like, they're not here. Well, he had already seen them, because where they were at, they knew where they went right onto the elk.
They were right there.
And
they didn't move from the night before?
They didn't. I mean, they did a little bit, but not
yards.
Really. They moved 100 yards.
They didn't move.
Yeah, they didn't move.
They were still in the clear cut feeding.
Yeah.
And we got to watch them for a long time. And dude, I'm sitting there like, I'm like putting points on these freaking things.
Yeah, Marlon was growing points.
I'm like, that Spike definitely has 3 points. Like, he's definitely got some little kickers coming off the bases and stuff. And I'm like, we got to get closer, because at this point we're like 350 yards. So me and Colt start sneaking.
I was 114.
Yeah, he was 114.
Yeah.
So I'm calling Cliff, like, are you putting any points on these elk? Like, because it's weird. It's very rare that you see 27 elk with 4 spikes and 0 legal elk. Like, very rare, especially this time of year when they're rutty.
So because I've never muzzleloader hunted. What's like a muzzleloader?
It's terrible.
Accurate to like what?
115 yards, we could have dropped all of them, no problem.
115 is like a comfortable shot for a muzzleloader.
Easy.
Okay.
Easy.
So
I told.
Oh yeah.
I told everyone in camp that like no one, if you've never taken a long shot with a muzzleloader, you shouldn't be shooting over 100, and if you have, you still shouldn't be shooting over 150.
Yeah.
Like,
they just lose so much energy.
And they're just, dude, it's just not an ethical shot. It's just not. Some guys will tell you that it is. I don't care. Like, dude, a muzzleloader, dude, it's losing so much velocity at that distance that if you don't perfectly place it, And I know from experience, like I took a 156-yard shot my very first year at an elk, drilled the thing. My wife watched it. Like she was looking in the binos and she said it just like, like ate the bullet. And I waited an hour, went down into where we thought it was. You can see blood all over the ferns, blood on both sides. So it was a full pass-through shot. But who knows where I hit? Could have hit high.
Yeah.
I could have hit low. At 150 yards, dude, with a freaking open iron sight.
Yeah, that was before. Yeah. And
Dude.
even I'm sorry, like it's literally, it just takes, it's not iron sights, but it might as well as be.
Yeah.
It's just, it helps you. For me, I like crosshairs,
Yep.
you know, but iron sights, same, it's literally, you're looking at the same thing.
So I tell everyone in camp, even though Dawn didn't listen to me, we'll tell that story.
Oh, yeah.
But anyway, so we get in there, dude, and we look at these elk for 45 minutes. Me and Colt sneak into like 70 yards on these things. We got them at like 70, and I'm like looking at every single one of them. At this point, Cliff's told me already that none of them are legal. Yeah. But I'm like, I don't care, dude.
See how close I could get?
Well, one of them you get these bulls in Weyerhaeuser, especially with hoof rot, unfortunately, guys. You get bulls that we call chicken feet bulls. And what'll happen is they'll get this thing on their base. They'll get this thing right here on their base that'll kind of grow down
like
and start to grow weird points. And I've shot 2 bulls now that you would not think are legal that are spikes, but they've grown like these weird.
And a legal bull is 3-point bull.
Yep, and it just has to be an inch. 1 inch is legal. So I have some elk over there that I can grab and show, but like they don't have to have much to be legal. Mm-hmm. And so I was like wanting one of these bulls to just have something like that on it.
Are you sure?
Growing them in your binos.
So then get this. We're sitting there and we're at 70 yards and we're looking at these elk. And the spike, one of the big, which we called the herd spike. The herd spike, because he was just had these big gnarly freaking spikes.
The bases on him were huge.
Massive bases on him. Like he was going to be a good bull someday.
Yeah. If
he starts bugling.
Yeah.
And like trying to round up his cows, and he's like sparring with the other spikes.
Yeah.
Well, he's bugling. Then all of a sudden in the timber that's like immediately to our right, probably 350 yards, another bull starts freaking ripping, like screaming.
And we never heard him from over there.
And he sounds like a bull we want to get. And so Colt's like, we're going after that bull. He starts like yelling at me, like, we got to go after that bull. And I'm like, dude, we're not going after that bull until we are 100% sure that none of these freaking bulls are legal. Like, I'm not doing it. Like, I'm not leaving elk to find elk. Mm-hmm. Well, now I look back and it's a mistake that I made. We should have went after that bull because he was fired up. He was bugling in a way that was like, I call it the horny bugle. Like he was bugling like, I want to find a cow to mate.
And you wanted to go after him?
No, Colt.
He didn't hear him.
Oh, Colt.
We never heard him.
Colt wanted to go after him.
Yeah.
Oh, Colt did.
We never heard that bull. Yeah. That's the I call it the I want to die bugle. Like when they're fired up.
Yeah, he was fired up. So we kind of all finally like we back out of these elk and we all planned to meet like in the timber where this bull was bugling. And we tried to hunt him. We let a bunch of cow calls off. We got down in there. Cliff and Mikey went into one different set of timber. Me and Colt hiked all the way down through the timber, basically to a main highway. Never could get on him. Never could find him. Never could get him to bugle again. Nothing. So that was day 2. Sad day 2. Now we get to day 3, and this is where it gets real interesting.
Real sad.
So day 3. I talked to my buddy, Zach, and he's like, hey, moron, the bulls were in my camera at noon.
Yeah. Yep.
So we went and hunted those spikes. If we would have went back to the area we hunted on opening day, we would have killed those bulls because they were in his camera at noon. So again, this is like decision. I always say, dude, hunting's always just a game of decisions. Even when we're mule deer hunting, which we'll talk about later on in this episode, like there were so many times where I just felt like, man, we went here, but we should have went there. Yep. And it's like, you never know dude, it's just so like, you can beat yourself up.
And
like,
usually when you find out, it's too late.
Yep.
Well, and I saw, it was that night. It was that night that me and Mikey saw that bull. And I told Cameron, I was like, don't go in there. Go around, we're going to spot. And if they're up in the clear cut, we'll go after him. And that's what led into him and Clint, driving down the road.
Wait. When did you and Mikey, did you guys see that bull the
night before?
So day 2.
The evening of day 2, yep.
Yeah, so you didn't talk about that. So day 2, We finally spot like a really nice legal bull, like a 5-point with some cows in a clear cut. But it was getting dark.
Yep.
It was getting dark. So we were like, okay, we got to go after that elk in the morning. So me and Colt went back over to the other side of the farm, hunting those bulls that my buddy Zach was on, right?
Yep.
And then you guys went after those elk.
Yep.
And so this is where it gets funny, because this is the day Cam shows up, because Cameron hunts with us too, and Clint joined our camp this year. And
it's entertaining.
So they drive in, and Cam's got a hurt back, so he's not going to be able to hike much on this hunt. His back's jacked. He's not going to be able to hike much. So they drive into the main gate. Cliff and them are on trying to go scout or basically glass where we think these bulls might be. And that next morning, and you tell the story because I wasn't there.
Yeah, so I don't even know. Honestly, I don't know where exactly I was that morning.
I know exactly what happened with Cam because he told me.
Yeah, so I just got the text message. Cam's like, I just missed a giant. Like, oh my god.
So Cam drives in the main gate. It's the main Weyerhaeuser gate that we all call the main gate because it's like one of the main line roads that you drive in on. He drives in. He goes all the way around to where Cliff had seen the bull.
Mm-hmm.
They're glassing around. They drive around. They glass some areas where they think bulls might be. Well, then they start to leave. And they're going to go back out the main gate. This is the main gate.
Crossing it.
Dude, like so many people, every guy drives through there.
Every single Weyerhaeuser worker, every single person drives through this freaking. They're coming out. And Clint goes, elk, elk, elk. There's 3 bulls, and one of them's giant, like a 6x7, running. And Cam's like, and they're running. So there's this road that wraps around and goes to the clear cut where you can glass and find the elk. So they're coming out of that road. And the second you come out of that road, then you turn onto the main line road. So Cam sees the bulls running basically next to him on this side road, but they're running towards the main road. So Cam just freaking gasses it to the main road and gets out. And he's like ready. He's like ready for these elk to cross. And what he's going to do is he's going to wait for them to cross. And then, you can't shoot from the road. So you got to be positioned. So he gets into a position where he can take the shot off the road, gets ready. But the problem is when these elk get ready to cross, dude, at this point, they're like running for their lives.
Yeah, he said, dude, it's like Hail Mary. Like
they're like running for their lives.
Fur.
Yeah. You envision, like, we'll talk about when I led my thing, you envision the same thing. Like when they're running that fast, dude, you got to lead them. And then you only have 150 grains of powder, so your bullet's not flying like a rifle.
Yeah.
It's only flying, 1,900 feet per second?
Something like that, yeah.
It's not flying crazy. And so the first big bull crosses, and Cam's like, oh my God. And I think he got kind of like, he didn't realize how big it was.
And he's like, I just didn't even feel ready. Like, he's just.
So he takes a Hail Mary shot, misses. Well, then at that point, here comes the second bull, and this one's not moving as fast. And he doesn't have even a reload. And
where's Clint?
Clint's still in the truck because he's an idiot. He hasn't even got out at this point.
He can't find his primer.
He can't find his primers. He's like looking for his primers. Freaking just Clint, low hole Clint, you guys know.
So always have your primers ready.
Yeah, always.
If you're a muzzleloader.
No, the motto is exactly what the back of your hoodie says. What we always try to tell, dude, and I think it should be one of our slogans for addicted hunting. Expect the unexpected. Like, expect the unexpected, dude. Same with the mule deer that I shot. We didn't think there was going to be a mule deer right freaking there in that draw. We drove right to him.
I thought it might be in there.
Then why'd you drive right to him?
I was actually going to try and hunt the rest of the canyon. He was right there.
It was crazy. We'll talk about that. But anyway, expect the unexpected.
Yeah.
And so now we can get to, so those elk bail, and then Cam calls you.
Yeah.
And me and Colt are we have no service where we're at.
Yeah.
So all this is happening, and me and Colt are in like no man's land. We haven't even seen an elk, not even a track. So we're like annoyed.
Me and Mikey, we meet up with Cam and Clint.
Hot in here, dude.
And then Dawn shows up. And then they're like, "Oh, they went down this way." And I'm like, I'm just looking at my Onyx, and I'm, again, they're elk. You can't really expect like exactly where you think they're gonna go. But based off of the way everything was lined up, there was a swamp, there's a road over here. I'm thinking, in the mentality of an elk that wants to get away after they've been shot at, this is the direction they're gonna go. Cam's like, oh no, they're gonna here. I'm gonna go here, and Clint will go here, and you can drop Mikey off over here. I was like, that's fine, dude. I'm going over there. Like I knew where I was gonna go. I was like, it just makes sense. Like everything funneled right to it. So I drop Mikey off. I go around, like I'm probably 1,300 yards as the crow flies from where these guys are at. And I'm making my way down. And the way I hunt timber, and I
keep in mind the first couple days,
yeah,
we did get some weather. Like we did get some rain and some little sprinkles and some little like not like hot, sunny, dry weather. So that needs to be noted right now because we had some rain.
Yeah. At the beginning, yeah. So it's like I'm making my way down through the timber, but it's like I'll take like 4 or 5 steps and I'll stop. And like I go dead quiet. I don't move, nothing. I listen. I'm half deaf, so the listening part's not so good sometimes. But I'm like, I picked the point and I pointed to Cam's like onyx. I was like, I'm going right there. And I went exactly to that point and I'm sitting there. I'm like, I'll just sit on a stump so I'm not moving around. And I hear just one little snap. I look over and I see a cow and she's like 35 yards. And then I can start hearing more. Well, here's the kicker too. This is the best part. So I just got contacts. And that morning, dude, I've never been so pissed off in my life. Like I got the left one in. I spent like 45 minutes trying to get these damn things in. I was pissed. And so I thought I got my right one in. And I was like, oh God, it's still kind of blurry. Like this side's clear, this side's blurry. Yeah, you aim with this is I aim with this eye. That doesn't matter in this story, I can tell you that. But like I spot like cows going across. I'm like, oh, so I throw up my binos and there goes another cow and it's just a little opening. And then I see this 5 point. I was like, oh. So I boogied, like just scooting through this stuff. I went probably like 30 yards the opposite way of that cow. And so I'm sitting there and I'm like, I can hear him like crashing around and everything. And then all of a sudden, like cow shows up at like 40 yards. And the wind's perfect. Like if I'd stayed where I was, they would have got my wind. And I was sitting there and I'm waiting. And another cow comes through. And then I see this really blonde one at about 35 yards. And again, because now I'm like retarded in one eye, like I can't, it's just really blurry. And I'm in the timber and the sun's kind of coming through a little bit. So it's like that really messes with my eyes. So I'm sitting there and I'm like, and it looks like his antlers are hanging up like on the vine maple and he's just doing his thing, dude. Like has no clue I'm there. Like I'm talking, this is like the layup of layups, like T-ball, like setup. And I'm like, oh my God, he's leaving. So he goes just like one little half step forward. His head's behind a tree. And I'm like, oh my God, you're so dead. I just slowly lift up, click off the safety. Are you serious right now? And I'm like, but because there's so much smoke, I was like, smoked him, he's gone. Like I couldn't see him. He's not standing there. Well, seconds later, as I'm trying to like reload, here comes this bull, 25 yards right in front of me. Like had I known, I probably just chucked my muzzle loader at it and tomahawked him because I would have had a better chance of hitting that bull. So then I spent the next hour and a half circling an area. Now, mind you, this is 40 yards, dude. Like, and this is like the biggest piece of humble pie I've ever had. I'm like, dude, who misses at that? Like, how can you miss? Like, well, guess what? I'm that. So it's like just a huge, huge like piece of humble pie. And you could like the guys even at camp, like when I came back, they could tell I was pissed. Like, because to me, number one, be familiar with your weapon. I was like, dude, I could have shot it with my crossbow. I could have shot it with my bow. Like, it wouldn't have been a problem because those I'm familiar with. The muzzle loader and that, call it a hang fire. One thing I did,
so just delayed.
Yeah, and so, and all I can think of is the moisture that got on my gun or in my gun. So I left my gun in the truck overnight. And again, there was a little bit of moisture,
condensation on it, and what did your primer?
So one of the biggest, like, I mean, and I'll just say it, and hopefully people can take this as a learning lesson. Is the same thing with archery. Hold your shot, right? Like you just hold your shot. Don't drop your hand. Stay in your shot. Same thing with muzzle loaders.
And you lifted your face.
Well, what happened was he went to look, and as he did that, he lifted his gun just slightly and shot right over its back.
And I mean, dude, I'm talking It like I sit there and I look at things that are about like 40 yards now, and I'm just so pissed. I'm like, that thing's 40. Like the number 40 is gonna piss me off the rest of my life. And I mean, he wasn't like this gigantic bull, but here's the thing: is like we're Washington.
How old are you?
I'm 41. I'm past it, so I don't hate myself anymore. I guess, yeah. But it's one of those things. It's like we don't get multiple opportunities, and especially like ones like that. You know, like I was talking to Cam after all of it, and he's had a bunch of personal things going on. I'm like, so bad. So it's kind of put things in perspective. You know, he's like, well, yeah, I missed too. I'm like, yeah, but dude, you took a shot because it's like you had to, right? Like, I mean, you can't not take that shot with an opportunity of a giant. Mine was literally just an absolute layup, and just one of those things to where I will remember that for the rest of my life.
I bet you won't do it again, though.
Dude, I will literally stay in that thing.
And again, I said I take a little bit of blame because I always, again, I feel like I set this camp up. I've been doing it for years now, and I really like to have a lot of my friends come to it. And I always tell everyone, like, when it rains, like, clean your muzzleloaders, redo your muzzleloaders, put new powder in, like,
yep.
And we didn't talk about it that night for some reason. I have no clue why we didn't. We just didn't. And we always do. Especially with yours, you have an open freaking breach.
Yeah. That's the kicker.
I know what happened. They're all sitting at Cam. They're like, screw
Yeah,
screw Cliff.
Well, and the crazy
Let's
part
let him
is
learn the hard way.
the crazy part is about it, and I don't think these elk went super far because as like after the shot, like I moved as slow as I could, and so when the bull came back across, there's trees that were over here, so I couldn't see. So I'm still in my mind like I still hit him. I know, like I had to have. Like there's no way, right?
Mm-hmm.
But there's still that in the back of my mind. I'm like I don't. But there's no way, 40 yards, right? So I'm like trying to reload, and I'm like waiting to hear like the falling over and kicking around and all that, and I never hear anything. But it's like I'm trying to reload. Cows are mew, mew, mew.
Yeah,
I'm like
freaking out.
There's some that are like literally to my left, like 45 yards. I'm like trying to reload, like trying to get my bullet down in there and everything. I get reloaded, and I can still hear them. They're kind of just slowly moving away, and so I just stayed put. Like I didn't move for like probably 20, 30 minutes. If he's right there, I just want him to die.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's one of my biggest things. I'm like, just give him time to die. And he didn't die because he didn't get wounded. So, but yeah, it was one of those things that, yeah, if anybody can take anything from just this one podcast, stay in your gun.
Hey, and in hindsight too, Cliff, like it's a good thing that it was a clean miss.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Like how much worse? You think it's bad?
Yeah. I wish you would have backboned him, dude. Dropped him right in the spot.
Think of how worse it would have been if you hit him like far back or something and wounded him. You have to chase him for the next couple days, like because you wounded this animal. Now you have an obligation to go after this animal and this one alone because you hit it far back or something like that. Like, so the silver lining, you know.
That is you're 100% right. I would rather have a clean miss all day than knowing that I have a wounded animal.
I'd rather get a bullet in the hair, baby.
I don't care. I'll pop his leg off.
Dude, Colt one time had a shot. Dude, Colt one time had a shot at a monster
last year
bull. Yeah, monster. And he didn't take it because he said he could only see like, he didn't have like a good shot at it. And I'm like, dude, F that. Freaking blast its liver out or something. Who cares? Like, get a freaking bullet in it. Like,
well, that's the thing too.
That's probably the wrong way. Probably the wrong way to think about it, guys. But for me,
Mr. Patient here.
When I'm elk hunting, it's like you don't get those opportunities very often. When they present themselves, I'm blasting.
Yeah,
I'm freaking shooting, dude.
But I think it also comes down to
is that I will regret it.
I'll regret it even more, though too. It's like it's like, have you been to that dance before? You've been there, so it's like and it's I've ran into it rifle hunting. Like my stepdad said it to my sister one time I'm
gonna get so much hate for that, and I don't really care. I'm freaking dude.
Is she even asked?
Shoot him.
Yeah, if I would have shot. If it's clean, if you have a clean up, you're like, no, just shoot him.
Just get something in him to slow him down, and then you'll get him later. I'm just kidding. Do not do that. Do not do that. I'm totally joking. Totally 100% joking. I have passed on a lot of animals over the years because I didn't feel like I had the right shot, like the exact right shot.
Yeah.
Especially with a muzzleloader. Yeah. But I will tell you that if a giant bull presents itself to me and I don't have like the exact perfect shot, sorry, bud.
So what everyone should take away from this is if you're a warehouser and you see a bunch of wounded animals around, you're in Marlon's area right there. You're in Marlon's area. If you see a bunch of wounded bulls running around, you found Marlon's camp.
It's not hoof rot.
Yeah. No, dude, because every bull I've ever shot, I've dropped.
I know, I'm just teasing.
Yeah.
I've lost one bull with my muzzleloader. It was the very first year I started hunting. And I took a far shot. And I hit him. And I hit him good. At least I thought I did. But, yeah, I won't. I've lost too many animals now where I felt like I didn't make a good shot that I would way rather be, like you said, in that scenario where I missed. Because the pain from hitting it and losing it versus missing is so much worse.
I've chased a lot of big game wounded, and it is just gut-wrenching.
Yeah.
You don't, it's not enjoyable. At least not for me. I hate the feeling of it. I hate knowing that I hit that animal and I can't find it.
Yep. It's terrible. It's terrible. There's animals that I still lose sleep over to this day. I wake up like,
I know of a couple.
Dude, I just, even they're all going through my head right now.
So you were sitting there and then.
That's the highlight of it, man. Like
that was it.
That was.
And then he was just gone out of your life.
Forever.
You never saw him again?
We think it's the same herd that our buddy shot at 2 days later, which we were going to talk about. But yeah, the rest of the season goes on and we start kind of splitting up big time, like looking for elk. Like it got real dry. You know, like I said, the first 2 days, like, so we got some rain, like poured down rain the day before elk season. And then the first day of elk season, it rained a little bit. And then it just went to freaking 80, 90 degrees every single day after that. And so we spent the next few days like chasing our tails, like being one step behind the elk, which is just so different from last year. Because last year we were on them every day, in them, like knew where they were at. Like this year it was not like that. It was like
some of them were.
Yeah.
I had a couple good days. The rest of them,
Well, and we saw elk every day this year. Like me and Colt were doing pretty good, like getting into elk and stuff, but just not the right ones, not legal bulls. This is the first year in 7 years that I didn't, or 8 years that I didn't like have a chance at a bull.
Yeah.
Like I didn't even have a chance this year.
Yeah.
You just think it was just because of the year or what?
Yeah, I think it was just, I think for me personally, I think it was because I didn't spend the time that I normally spend. Yeah. Like normally I am, like you guys know, like normally, dude, I am up there like every weekend scouting around. Dude. I got 6, 7 trail cameras up. I know where the elk are at. Like, and this year I just didn't do that.
That's what's changing for next year.
I was fishing too much, dude.
Every single person that I know that does preseason and like goes out like religiously and does that, their success is almost 100% every year. They get something down.
Yep.
The 10% of the hunters kill 90% of the.
Oh yeah, I said that earlier.
Yeah, you said that in a different podcast.
Yeah, like it's a fact. Like it's, if you put the work in, like you'll be rewarded with it. I mean, and it's true. Like the scouting, like I mean, I did a little bit, but not. I mean,
we did a little bit, but we didn't do what we normally do, especially myself. So for me personally, that's what I think happened and made it a tough year. The last thing that happened was we kind of chased the elk. We were seeing them. You know, we had some bulls like pinned in clear cuts and stuff, and Cliff got on them one day in some reprod.
Yep.
And we were hunting these elk, and Cliff kind of was like, they're in between you and Colt in the reprod.
Yeah, that was so cool. Yeah.
And so I'm like watching, and I'm walking down, and we don't see him. Colt goes down and pushes the reprod, and we think we're going to push him right to Cliff, and we never see him.
I started hunting Colt at that point.
Yeah. So I'm walking down the road, and I'm kind of like, wait a second. None of these tracks were in the road when we came up the road.
Crossed behind him. Yeah.
They crossed right behind us, dude, in this reprod. And we all knew it. We talked on the phone. I told Colt, I'm like, there's all these tracks in there, but for some idiotic reason, that evening in the evening hunt, we all went to different places. Like, even though we knew where the elk were at, except one of our buddies.
Well, Don said he was going to go there, and me and Colt talked about going there. And Don, as soon as Don's like, well, I was thinking about taking that lower road, and I was like, well, okay, I mean, at least that's covered.
So these elk, they crossed behind us. They went up into that reprod, and they stayed in that reprod all day until the evening time. Around 5 or 6 o'clock, Don goes walking up that lower road, and he spots elk. And I'm saying lower road because we're walking in it. We're in an area that's walking only. Mm-hmm. And so there's like some old roads in there, but they're not roads. You can't drive them. No one drives them. And so he's walking one of the older lower roads, and he spots these elk in the road, in the older road. And they had stayed in that reprod all day and then went out, and they were starting to feed their way into the clear cut. And Don, our buddy Don, just being like new to hunting and new to, never shot one with his muzzleloader, for some reason, decides he's going to take a 170-yard muzzleloader shot.
Hail Mary.
Yeah,
Run
he takes.
Quick, see?
Yeah,
but in his defense, he's like, man, I wasn't sure I was ever going to have another. Yeah. I'm not going to have an opportunity this season. So he tried to capitalize on it. And he said he had plenty of time, and then once we heard about that, it's like.
Once I went and saw the shot he took, I was like, there's no chance.
Yeah.
So
with a 1 power, that's one
well,
thing.
And he was shooting like through those trees. It was just not a good shot.
It was
like not. The hindsight, I talked to him about it, and I told him, I'm like, dude, next time you just got to try to sneak closer. You got to and he knows now, but he felt good about it. For him, it was like, dude, I took the shot. I feel positive. Yep. At least I could say I took a shot.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So. And then, dude, we spent the rest of the season looking for him, not getting on him, chasing him.
One step behind.
Yep, one step behind him the whole season, really. It was just terrible. But
hey, you got some knowledge. That's what it's really about.
Yep. We all learn stuff. We all know what we're going to do different next year. And the biggest thing we're all going to do, me and Colt and Cliff talked about, is we got to scout more.
Yep.
We got to scout more.
Think of how bad it was. Who was your buddy that called you and told you?
Zach.
Yeah. Everybody be like Zach. Be a buddy like Zach. Because think of how worse off you'd be if you just didn't have him.
Yeah.
Yeah, he found elk for us.
Yeah,
and he killed one of those bulls during archery season.
Mm-hmm. Hey, there's some success in it.
Yep, during archery season, he killed one of those bulls out of that big herd that had all those bulls.
Cool.
So my buddy Zach's he's one of those dudes that's just just freaking such a good hunter.
He's the 10%.
Yeah. He's in it.
As long as I've known him. I literally met him doing electrician. I needed an electrician, and I put a post on Facebook, and I found him through Facebook. And me and him have been he came over to look at it, and he saw a couple of my mounts or whatever, and we started talking about hunting. And then we both had this insane love for shed hunting, and so we've just been buddies ever since. And as long as I
cut that where he said insane love and then just jump forward, that would just be a great cut point.
You're stupid.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, no. Ever since I've known him, dude, every single freaking year he kills an elk and a deer. Every year with his bow.
Talk about him
with his bow.
That's awesome.
He's just a freaking. I'm jealous of him.
But he puts the work in.
Hey, we need to get him in here.
Yeah, I told him I live vicariously through him every year is what I told him. I just texted him that the other day. Because his wife just killed a deer yesterday with a bow.
She killed it with a bow?
Mm-hmm.
Really? Good for her.
2x3 with eye guards.
That's rad.
Yep.
Hunters hang with hunters.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. She's a good hunter too. Yep.
Cool.
Yep. All right. Well, let's move on to. So we have a Washington blacktail season that opened. Washington blacktail deer season that opened. It follows our muzzleloader elk season. It's the very next day. If anyone that hunts in Washington's listening to this, you get your muzzleloader elk season, then your rifle deer butts right up next to it. And a lot of us hunt rifle deer, or a lot of us hunt multi-season deer.
Yeah, multi-season. Yeah.
And so I didn't hunt because I went to do a different hunt.
Yeah.
But you talk about did you go out opening or did you go out Sunday?
I went out Sunday. I had a trip on Saturday, but I went out Sunday with the wife.
With your wife?
Yeah. Yep. We went out. We saw deer. I never had an opportunity to get her on a buck. But it rained that day, and
that's what you want.
Well, yeah. But not when I make her go boonie crashing through one of those Weyerhaeuser clear cuts and then make her take the long way around. So she got wet, and we hunted that morning. We saw a few deer, and then I'm not, because she's relatively new to it. She got her first buck last year, So it's like I want to keep that, like, I don't want her to be miserable. Like, I love being miserable for some reason. Like, I was soaked.
That's what I ruined with my wife.
Yeah, you don't want to make them.
She's miserable. She doesn't like to hunt because I've worked her too hard.
Yeah.
Like, I make her do too many hikes and too many like gnarly things that she just doesn't like.
I never would have thought you would have did that.
Yeah. Right. I'm like, we're going down this road. It's only a mile and it's like 4. Then we got to come back.
So I actually asked her. I was like, it was about 2:00, and you could tell. I was like, you're done? Yeah. Okay. And so I was just gonna go home. I'm like, whatever. The rifle part of the season, I really wanted to be focused on her. Like, I still have late buck, I still have late archery. I have opportunity. Plus other opportunities that we get to go do this year too. And then my buddy Clayton called me. Like, yeah, me and the wife and the kids were headed out. I was like, where are you going? And he tells me. I was like, well. And my wife, she's like, yeah, no, you want to go? Like, you can go back out. Gone. So I literally dropped her off at home, turned burn, went right back out. And so I go up, and there was deer everywhere. Like, I bet you that day.
Gotta love it.
There was I think I saw 31 deer. And I was telling Colt this, and he's like, oh, you saw more deer than me? Is that what you're trying to do? I was like, no, dude, I'm like 3 here, 4 over here, 6 here. Like, these
Well, one thing we need to talk about, and this is something you guys really need to know with blacktail. If you ever get any stretches of sun where it's like dry, no rain, and then it rains, go hunting.
Yeah, they're like little delicate wild.
Dude, they come out they come out of the freaking woodwork when it does that.
It was insane. I sat in one spot, and I bet you I saw like 18. And just looking at a clear cut over here, there's deer over here, there's deer over here. But I saw these, they were like 500 and some odd yards, but there's a couple little bucks. I assumed that they were, because they were kind of butting heads and everything. I'm like, man, I've never really seen does do that. And they're long ways away. I don't have my spotting scope. And so they finally got out in the open, verified. I was like, it was 2 spikes. And I called Clayton. I go, I don't know where you're at, man, but you can get over here. There's 2 spikes literally standing right in front of me. Like, where you at? And so I tell him, I don't even really know where I'm at. Like, I'm like looking at my Onyx. I'm like, well, it says this road, but then I'm looking at this map and it says I'm on this road, but you need to be on this road. And it's 6 o'clock, so we're getting to the point where
you got 45 minutes to an hour.
Yeah, we're losing light. And I'm like, 6:20 rolls around, and my phone starts to vibrate, and I look, and Tim was like, whisper, I'm like, where you at? He's like, look up. And he's like up at the top of the clear cut. And I was like, dude, take that road around, drive down. There's going to be does on your right hand side. Hit the fork in the road. Stop there. Ignore those does. They're not there. 150 yards down, patch of timber. There's 2 little bucks. So him and his wife, they got the kids and everything. Him and his wife get to there. They get out and they start walking down. And I'm across the clear cut, like 500 and some odd yards from him. And no phone, no radio, nothing. So I'm yelling, I'm like, they're in the ditch right past the timber. So he's like, they're moving down and everything. And they finally spot him. And one of the little bucks, he takes off. And I was like, there's still another one. And so the other little buck, he finally pops out and he takes off. And I can see him. And they ran down in the clear cut and they stopped. I was like, keep going. And I can hear like the echo back and forth. And so he keeps going. I yell, it's at a 45. And his wife kind of looks over the edge. She doesn't see him. So he walked a little bit further. And sure enough, like that little spike's like staring back. So I'm watching the whole thing through my binos, going back and forth, like little bucks kind of looking at him. Clayton's getting into his gun and everything. And I just get back to the buck and just watch like the front legs fold out from underneath him. I don't even hear the report of the shot yet. So buck folds, then you're and then I just hear his wife, woo! So celebration. So I drive around. But going like the biggest thing with all of this was his kids were there. So it was his first buck. He's deer hunted, but he's just never had the opportunity. And this is where I want to say that I used to be a quote unquote trophy hunter. I wanted to chase bigger deer. But it's like at this point, like helping somebody, even if it's a spike, like that opportunity to be able to share that whole moment, get them on it, share it with their family. Like, dude, that is one of the coolest things. And I think that's also like with guiding and fishing is you get to share that moment with those people and to have his kids like, dude, when we got that deer up, like onto the road, you would have thought these kids shot it. They were so pumped. It was one of the coolest things to see two little kids that are absolutely amped. And Clayton told me the next day, his son like woke up in the middle of the night, Daddy, I gotta go potty. He's like, yeah, go, you know. And then he comes back, he's like, yeah, I need my milk. What are you talking about? He's like, I need my milk. We need to go chase deer, you know? So it's like, dude, for that little dude to be already like just jacked about it, like it was one of the coolest experiences I've had. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, we got a lot more blacktail hunting ahead of us, so
yeah,
this won't be the last blacktail story that we tell you. That's for sure.
Hopefully, yeah. Hopefully a successful.
Hopefully, yeah. Let's focus on the successful side of things. Yeah.
I feel like we're pretty good blacktail hunters. We kill.
Yeah.
We'll get them.
Yep.
I just.
Dude, because this is your year, man. This is your year for a hat trick.
This is my year. I want to kill a blacktail, a whitetail, and a mule deer. And speaking of mule deer, that's what me and John were doing. When you were off chasing little tiny spikes.
Yep.
I just kidding.
Yeah. We were out running around big mule deer.
Yeah, so I missed a little bit of the hunt, but you started off with something mega.
Yeah. So we have a group of us that come out there this year, and I wanted to leave everything alone. Like I didn't want to go into the primo spots without everybody. You know?
Right.
So I was just like, I'm gonna leave it. So I just spent my opening morning just checking. I get some road hunters that come up and poach stuff. So I was just kind of watching the roads. I was down one area, and my dad was in another area, and I didn't see anybody all morning. And I was like, sweet, no road hunters. I usually catch one or two around. And I was like, cool, I'll go back, and didn't hear from my dad. So
it's still so wild because it's like where that's at. I'm like, that takes a stupid individual. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah, so I go over and find my dad, and he's just sitting over there in his pickup, and I pull up next to him. I'm just sitting in this little area with him, and we're just sitting talking, and I'm like BS with him for 15, 20 minutes, and I look up, and there's 4 deer, and they all had big bodies, and they were probably 800 yards away from me. I said, yeah, there's deer sitting right in front of us here. He's like, yeah, they've been here all morning. We'll watch them feed over the hill into here. And I'm like, huh. Pull my binoculars up to them, and they're still too far away from me to see what they really are. But I'm like, man, a couple of those look like really, really good deer. Like really good deer. So I was like, okay, I'm going to go back and go get my spot. I didn't bring my spot. I just had my binos with me. Yeah. I'm like, I need to get my spotting scope to get a closer look. So I run out back, go to my garage, grab my spotter, come back, and they disappeared. And I'm like, Like, oh, well. So we sit there and BS for a while longer. And I'm like, well, they didn't know I was there or anything else. So I'll just come back later. Went there later. It was probably around noon. Got on a high point and started just picking the land apart, and I finally found them bedded.
Best time of the day.
Yeah, so I found them bedded, and I was like, oh, sweet, but we're in an area I could hunt. So I was just like, I'm just going to watch these things. And I sat all afternoon, hours, sitting on my spotter, watching them, seeing what they're going to do. And when I went to my house, I grabbed my rifle and everything else, just in case. And I told myself, I was like, I didn't want to shoot someone without everyone there. Yeah. But I'm like, after I got a look at this buck, I'm like, if this presents an opportunity for me, I have to take it. Like,
you'd be a fool not to.
I'd be stupid not to. Mm-hmm. So evening comes around and they start moving to an area I can hunt. And I'm like, all right, I'm going to make a move to them. So where I was glassing the high point, I just hiked down, crossed the flat, got on the hills, and I got probably 200 and, I think I was 280 is what I ranged them at. 280, but they still were in an area they needed to cross into where I could go. Well, they crossed on the other side
of
where I couldn't go. I just got to watch them. Sunset was right behind them, and just watch them go over the hill, and I'm like, oh. dang it. I'm like, I thought that was it. I thought it was my opportunity. I said, maybe tomorrow. We'll see. So first light next morning, I go back to the same spot. And it was just barely light enough to see, and I could see deer bedded where I could hunt. And I didn't. I was just driving down the road, and I'm like, I'm not even going to stop and look. I'm just going to get to where I need to be to see them. Mm-hmm. So I just kept rolling, get to my spot where I was looking at yesterday, and sure enough, it was this bachelor group of bucks I was staring at right where I could hunt. And I'm like, but it's this huge flat, and there's nowhere for me to sneak because where I'm at, it's all open country. There's no trees. It's just, sagebrush here and there. Well, it just so happened that the mornings had been colder. All the cold air had sunk into the bottom of this flat. So it was foggy. And I'm like, it was just like a sign, I'm like, what are the odds? Yeah. And so I'm like, I have perfect cover to cover the distance between me and them. I hike across this flat that I did the night before. Get across it, and then I get to the fence line where I'm at, where the edge of where I can hunt, and I'm belly crawling along the fence line, and I see him, and one buck is bedded up, and the other three are laying down. Well, this one buck, I don't know if he winded me, or he saw me, or whatever. He was just like, you could tell he was just on high alert, looking around. I'm like, oh no. And I'm like sitting there, and I'm trying not to move, but he was not. Usually, if you sit still, he'll calm down after a bit. But he was not calming down. I'm like, I should probably get ready. So I ranged him, dialed it into my scope, just in case they blow out of here, I might be able to get a shot off. Just keep creeping a little bit more, and that buck that had me pinned the whole time starts walking away from me, looking behind. A few more steps, walking behind, and I'm like, oh, they're about to get out of here. So, and then he just starts bounding away. Well, the other three that were bedded, since he's leaving, we're getting up. So they get up all with him. Two of the three that were bedded just chase after him. And the one that I was targeting stood up out of his bed. And I instantly just started mewing at him, trying to stop him. None of the other three stopped, but the one I wanted just stopped dead in his tracks, broadside. And I just dumped him.
How far was the shot?
It was 270, 260 or something like that. Okay. Yeah. Nothing crazy.
No, it's perfect.
Yeah, so it was just dumped, and I was just like, I didn't even know what just happened. I'm like, oh my God, I'm hip and hollering by myself out there. It was so cool.
I've been there, dude. You're like, who?
Yeah, I know.
And it's a giant, guys. We'll get some pictures and show you guys, or make sure you guys follow the other channels or the Instagram and stuff, because we'll be showing some pictures and stuff.
Yeah.
It's
a stud.
It's a monster.
Yeah, and then
it's going to be in the 190s probably.
Yeah. I soft taped.
That's all.
Soft taping at 193 and 4/8.
That's so rad, man.
I mean, there's going to be some deduction and stuff, but whatever. That's not what I did. He was just such a pretty buck that I was like, I don't really get. I've hunted mule deer my whole life, and I don't really get that excited about them anymore. It's more exciting for me to watch other people get them. Yeah. Get someone who has never got them.
You know what that means?
Marlin. What?
You're getting old.
Yeah, I guess. Well, this one I got excited about, really excited. And so that was like second day of the season.
That's awesome.
And I punched my tag. And then Marlin and everyone else came out.
Decimated the herd.
Yep,
second weekend, and it was a fiesta. I don't really want to dive too much into it because it's all on video.
It's going to be on video. So we're going to tell you guys all the details for sure of all the other guys that hunted with us. You'll see it on the videos.
Yeah.
You'll see it on the videos.
I don't want to spoil too much. It's pretty cool, though.
We killed some nice bucks.
Yes, we did.
We killed some nice bucks, for
Marlin took the nicest buck he's ever got.
Yeah, we can talk about mine. We're not going to sneak peek everything out, but we'll definitely talk about mine before we end this podcast for sure. So John had told me, like, I've never killed a really big buck. Like, I've killed some decent deer over my lifetime, but nothing that's been, like, really big. And John was like, dude, I'm not letting you shoot anything unless it's, like, huge. And so the whole week, I'm sure you can imagine.
You hold his rifle?
I almost had to.
Yeah,
there's a couple times where I'm like, do I need to take Marlin's bullets out of his gun right now?
Yeah.
Because it's like, wrong. I can't let him just go off. And there's a couple times where he went off on his own, and I'm like, did I make the wrong decision? Because what if Marlon just pops up something that he thinks is, huge to him, but, to me.
Dude, you would see these deer and you would be like, no chance in John's passing this. Like, we're killing this thing for sure. And we'd get up on it and be like, no, not a shooter. I'd be like, what do you mean? Thing's got like 9 points. It's definitely a shooter.
But it's been managed over the years, and we've talked about this.
No, it's like if you shoot big bucks, you don't get huge bucks.
Yeah, that's
that's just the reality of it. Yeah. It's like,
got to let them grow.
When you have a piece of property that you're managing for trophy, mule deer, trophy, it's the same thing where we go whitetail hunting.
Yep.
Like, we don't kill deer unless they're like 150s. Like, we don't.
Yeah.
We let them ride because we want big deer on the lease, which I got some news for you on that. But yeah, we were passing a lot of big bucks.
We sifted, it would make you sick. We sifted through, I don't even know how many.
Yeah. And John had asked me like, hey, is there anything that you want to kill? I think now if you were to ask me that, there probably is. Like, now that I've killed like a nice deer, it's like, I really do want to kill something that's like a really nice 4-point someday. That's just symmetrical.
That's all I want. That is it. I just want that. Like, it is. It's like, that's the dream buck to me. Now, whether it's a blacktail or whether it's a mule deer, I just want that wide, not super wide, but wide, symmetrical.
But when he's asking me, I'm like, no, dude, I don't give a shit. I'm gonna shoot whatever you tell me to shoot. Like, whatever you tell me to shoot, I'm shooting it. Like,
it was actually really funny because throughout the season, there's this one resident buck that we saw everywhere, Cliff, and he was beautiful. I mean, he was just a younger deer, small forks on the front, small forks on the back, very nice framed deer, and a dropper off of one side.
Time.
Yeah, dropper off. And we saw him like everywhere.
I wanted to shoot him.
There wasn't a day we wouldn't go out that we didn't see him and run into him. And it was just like every time Marlon was like, shooter! I'm like, Marlon, this is the same buck we've seen every day. But it was cool to see him. It was fun.
I got really excited about it. It's just really cool. I mean, now after I got a little bit more experience, I feel like next year I'll still be excited, but I won't be as like, kill them all! Because I just like, I've learned now like what you're looking for.
What is going to be really cool is this season was difficult for me because we just weren't seeing a lot of that older age class
caliber of deer, yeah.
And not the caliber, there was great caliber deer. They just weren't aged out where I like them to be, Yeah.
There was ones where John was like, man, this is probably a shooter, dude, but if we let him go
next year
he's going to really be a shooter.
He was in that, he was in that 3 to 4 year range that he was like, he wasn't hit his prime, but boy, did he look awesome. But it's just like, you could look at his face and his body and he just had the body of a young deer. And it's like, you let that thing grow another year or two.
That's one thing that's so cool where you're at, though, dude. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I'm jealous of that. I think that's one of the coolest things.
And I know a lot of people are gonna hate on that, but if you have the opportunity,
whatever, dude. If you have the opportunity
to do it, you should be doing it.
I don't really care if people hate on it.
If you guys hate John, go ahead, put some comments down below how much you hate him and how jealous you are, like I am. Okay.
Anyway, so fast forward, and So one morning there was these one bucks that we were on that had 2 like really good shooters in. And so we kept going back to this field because we were like, at one point these things are going to mess up and we're going to get them in this field. Well, that morning I was like, dude, I just really feel like we should go to the other side. Like, we haven't done a morning over there. Like, let's do a morning on the other side. Well, we still went to this side and looked that morning, or we did something that morning. I don't remember what we did, but we didn't go right to there in the morning. We went and checked one thing first in the morning, but then we go over to that area and we get over into that area where we think, it's like we want to get over here in the morning. We get to the spots where John knows we're going to glass from, and we don't see anything. There's nothing out. We don't see any deer.
Well, it was, And
at this point, it's like 10:30.
And it was like, Cliff, it was blowing.
Oh, yeah.
Windy.
It was windy and it was overcast. It was just kind of a miserable day out. And there was sporadic rain coming.
Yeah, I was going to say, it looked like it was a little moist.
Yeah.
Yep.
So anyway, continue, Marlon.
So anyway, he's like, we're just going to go drive this little canyon area to get to this other spot. Mm-hmm. Like, we wanted to get to this back corner of the property so we could look at these other 2 areas and glass the other 2 areas. And so we're like on our way. And John goes, no, actually we weren't going to drive it. We were getting ready to leave. And John goes, I don't know. I bet there's a buck laying in that freaking drainage right there. There has to be. Because the way the wind was blowing, it was just so protected. But we didn't realize it was going to be like right freaking there.
Yeah.
I don't think John thought it was, we were going to go park and then walk up this drainage. Well, we get to where we're going to go park and John goes, Marlon, get your rifle. And he was like,
sign.
Dude, he was bedded right, like where I parked the Ranger, he was right there. I mean, just like you could see, and he was laying down and you just like, you could see him in the bush and I'm like, oh my God, Marlon, get your rifle. There's a buck right there. And so he swings the door open. Well,
John finally let you.
No, he's looking at it. He's like trying to make.
I'm trying to age this deer because I'm like, we've passed up so many bucks that were like, that looked like that buck, but just we're young deer. And I'm like looking at it, but he's laying down and it's just, he's kind of tucked in. I couldn't get a good age on his body or anything like that. And his face definitely looked old to me, but I'm like, what? And as soon as he stood up, I'm like looking at him, I'm getting ready to tell Marlon.
The shooting sticks. You grabbed the shooting sticks.
I grabbed the shooting sticks, and I'm getting ready to tell Marlon to do it, and Dakota goes, I'd shoot that deer. And then Marlon just
gets into full ready mode.
Yeah, just goes.
But at this point now, the thing's running. And now he's like going pretty. I mean, dude, we had 5 minutes to shoot this thing like at 20 yards. And we were really trying. It's important to just make sure you're shooting the right deer where we're at. You have to. And so he's running and John's like, meh, meh. And John's got the shooting sticks. I'm ready. I'm like on my knee. I am really confident at this point. Like, I'm like, if this thing stopped, it's getting dropped. Well, it's not stopping. And finally, John gets it to like slow to a trot. He's full bound, like running as fast as he can. Well, then he like slows to a trot. And I'm like, this is my opportunity. And I shoot, and it's just behind him. Like, even though he was trotting, it was at like 200 yards at this point, and he was still moving to a point where at 200 yards, even at a trot, it's not, you got to lead him.
His bullet was going like a full body length behind.
Yeah. And so now I shoot. Well, now the thing's back to like running. And I'm like, oh God, dude. And I'm like so nervous, and I'm like, I got to really lead this thing. Like, really lead it. So I put it a full bound ahead of him and drill him, dude.
Dumped him?
Drill him.
You could hear us. We had to go just go, oh!
That's on film.
It's on film. Yeah, it's on film. And then when the thing drops, you hear Dakota in the background goes, dude, what a freaking shot, dude. Because, I mean, it was 290 yards full tilt.
I've seen you almost whack a coyote at 400 on full run.
It was a good shot, but I will say there was some luck involved for sure, too, because I didn't know exactly how far to lead it.
Right.
And we're all, dude, I stand up and I'm like as excited as I've ever freaking been, dude. Like, I'm so excited. And when we walk up on this buck, dude, I'm not kidding. There hasn't been a moment in hunting in years. I told John, I'm like literally about to cry.
Yeah.
Like, I was like talking to my wife on the phone, and there was like tears like going in my eyes when I was looking at this thing, thinking how freaking big it was.
Yeah.
Like,
dude, it's a big moment. Like, and just when you look at your whole hunting career in itself, like all the years that are accumulated, like, and you get that opportunity. I mean, I'm sorry, but like, if you don't feel a little bit of emotion, like when you're doing it.
Oh, dude, greatest moment of my hunting, like my deer hunting career to date by far.
And this is where I was talking about being selfish and like wanting to have those things on film, reflecting back and having that forever.
And we filmed it on. That was a moment where Sean was like, I need you guys to talk. And John was like, dude, just shut up for a second. Like, we need to just freaking, let's just relax and just freaking be excited that this just happened. And this
play
just
some
went
slow,
down.
somber music in it. Yeah.
So
amazing,
awesome, amazing freaking hunt, dude. Super grateful that John invited me. And yeah, like I said, literally the greatest moment in my deer hunting history.
It was such a pretty deer. Yeah. Like, it's so cool. Yeah. But his antlers are like red. They were like red from what he was rubbing on.
Yeah.
It was just like
bloodstained almost in a way.
He was just a pretty, everything about him.
Now, you guys got to make sure you subscribe to the Addicted Hunting channel, because that whole video is going to be on the channel. The very next day, we actually put a stalk and a kill on another deer to fill our last tag out of the group. Yep. So stay tuned for that video. It's coming soon, but we're running out of time, boys.
Yeah, we're getting out.
We've gotten to that point where I feel like that's a pretty good season update to where we are at today.
Yeah.
And we still have a lot of hunts coming, guys.
Yep.
John's got an antelope hunt that we're going to try to film. Hopefully we got, one of his buddies has another like trophy tag hunt that we're going to try to put some camera work on.
Yep.
That'd be rad.
We got a lot of hunts together. Cliff, I know, has some hunting still left to do.
You have a special tag too.
I have a special tag that hopefully some of these guys are going to join me on. I know John's planning on joining me. So, yeah, a lot of hunting left, guys. So a lot more updates that we got coming for you.
Yep.
And hopefully you guys enjoyed that. I think, for the season takeaway, the big motto for all of it is just exactly what we've been saying. Expect the unexpected.
Absolutely.
Expect the unexpected. For sure.
Yep.
So, well, awesome, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget, please comment on the podcast. Share it out there. Tell your families and friends. Make sure you subscribe. Until next time, see you guys in the woods.
Or not.
And I told him, I'm like, dude, we half the time don't even kill things.
That one app has changed the whole entire hunting community.
Trees.
Yeah, let's drop them off in downtown Seattle and see how they feel about it. That's what I've said.
Exactly. Just when you think we haven't figured out, we don't have them figured out.
And you post a picture, you will probably get more hate. Like if you have a big following,